Here are two more examples for inverse functions. So let's do part D. So the first thing we're going to do is replace the f of x with a y is equal to 1 over x minus 6. All right, now we are going to switch the x's and the y's. So now this y is going to turn into an x, and this x is going to turn into a y. And now all we got to do is solve for y. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, let's get rid of that denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by y minus 6. So this is going to go away. So I'm left with y minus 6 times x is equal to 1. Let me distribute this x. So you're going to get xy minus 6 is equal to, 6x is equal to 1. All right. So now let's solve for y. The first thing I'm going to do is add the 6x to the other side. So what you're going to get is xy is equal to 1 plus 6x. And now finally, we're just going to divide by this x. So you're going to get y is equal to 1 plus 6x divided by x. Okay? And now finally, we just have to put f inverse of x is equal to 1 plus 6x divided by x. All right, that's the final answer. All right, so now let's do this last problem. This one's going to be the tough one. If you don't get it, that's okay. You don't need to worry about it. I haven't decided whether I want to test you on it, but let's see how you do. So first, let's go ahead and change this f of x with y is equal to 3x minus 1 divided by x minus 5. Okay, so now let's change the x's with the y. So now y is going to be x, and the other one's going to be a y. 3y minus 1 divided by y minus 5. So now let's multiply both sides by y minus 5. Put it in parentheses. This one doesn't matter. It'll go away. I'm left with y minus 5 times x is equal to 3y minus 1. Let's distribute this x. And you're going to get xy minus 5x equals 3y minus 1. Now remember, we want to solve for y. That was the whole purpose of this. We want to solve for y. So it will be convenient for us to have all the y's on one side. So let me move this 3y over. Okay, I know that the other one has a x, but let's just leave it there for now. So xy minus 3y minus 5x equals negative 1. So everything that doesn't have a y, so for example, this one doesn't have a y, let me move it over. So I'm going to add 5x to the other side. So what I have is just xy minus 3y equals negative 1 plus 5x. And now that I have that, notice that this one and this one have y's in common. So I'm going to factor out a y. And I'm left with x minus 3 equals negative 1 plus 5x. Notice that now all we got to do is just get rid of this x minus 3. And what we're left with is y is equal to negative 1 plus 5x divided by x minus 3. Okay, and that is my final answer. Kind of. Because what we got to do, I keep forgetting, we have to put f inverse of x is equal to negative 1 plus 5x divided by x minus 3. So don't forget about your f inverse. Okay, don't do what I just did. Put the f inverse. Okay, that's really all there is to this one. It is a little bit on the difficulty level because you do have to factor and it involves a little bit more. But what you really want to make sure is that in your final answer, you should only have x's. You shouldn't have x's and y's. Okay, make sure that you only have x's. All right, so that's it for composition and inverse functions. In the next video, we'll do exponential.